Alright, before I go into the Helen the Magic Book story, I just want to discuss this kind of thing, which is this kind of question. Okay, so many people are asking, why did Kenney Jones replace Keith Moon? Well, if you don't know who is Kenney Jones, he is the drummer for Small Faces. You could definitely do see Kenney Jones is playing the drums with his bandmates, and he was actually the former drummer for Small Faces. But ever since Small Faces has dissolved in 1978, Kenney Jones has been working for The Who until 1992, which was the last album, It's Hard, or Emerson's Front. This was also the last album to feature John Entwistle before his death in 2002. So, people are just asking these kinds of questions. Who was Jones invited? According to that, Pete Townsend and Bill Curveshy wanted Kenney Jones to join The Who because they had to replace their original drummer Keith Moon, who died of a drug overdose back in September of 1978. And apparently this was actually the last night when Keith Moon and his girlfriend Annette Walter Lax were going into the event called the Buddy Holly Story. So eventually he was on the band tour from 1979 to 1982. So eventually Jones was replaced by Simon Phillips for The Who's 1989 reunion tour. So there's actually another question right here. Couldn't it mean that it was the wrong choice for Kenney Jones to join The Who? Well, I'll just say it wasn't definitely the wrong choice to let Kenney Jones join The Who. Because of this, they really didn't have a choice. If they want to dissolve the band, or they didn't want to dissolve the band. So eventually Kenney Jones was actually like the replacement drummer for The Who. So eventually Kenney Jones left the band in 1982 to focus on music. Ever since then, the current drummer was Zach Starkley, Ringo Starr's son. Eventually, Ringo Starr is still playing with the band, even though he is actually the tour member. So, you've been wondering this kind of question. Why was Emerson's Front was the last album for Kenney Jones and John Entwistle to appear in? Well, Kenney Jones had left the band back in 1983 or 1982. Well, this was actually John Entwistle's last album to be featured before his death. Eventually, Roger Daltrey and Peter Townsend are the only Who's members to be the original members ever since Moon and Entwistle died. So I think that could be all for that kind of question. I don't know why people are just saying that why did Kenney Jones did replace Keith Moon in the first place. It's not necessary. It's not necessary actually. If they want to disband the band, it's okay. If they don't really want to disband the band, it could be fine. But I don't really know about the Who members of the band. I actually do know that Kenney Jones was actually the wrong choice for playing the drums in the band, like that. So I don't have anything to say about this kind of question, I'll just say it's like Kenney Jones wants to replace Keith Moon in the band because they really didn't have a choice for doing this. If they would just replace Kenney Jones instead, because Keith Moon did die of like a drug overdose at just a young age, and he probably had so many contributions in order to fix the band's instrument destruction. But I do believe that's the way it goes. But anyways, I think that's all for now. This is me.